Act 1. Madrid, Atocha's flat, 27th of July, 1992, day. Interior close-up of a crucifix on a weathered wall over a bed. Slowly pull out to reveal a sweet, sleeping grandmother, Atocha, 88. A breeze passes through a partially opened window. Thunder roars. A strong gust of air blows harder, causing the window panes to open wide and slam against the wall. Atocha opens her eyes. Abruptly, her head tilts and looks over to the window. And as she looks, we transition to a sliding door opening at arrivals at Madrid, Barajas Airport. The sliding doors open, revealing arriving passengers exiting from customs and baggage claim. A young boy, 14 years old, named Luis, is accompanied by his mother Puri, 39. Both seem a bit out of place, dressed in exotic and colorful early 90s American suburban apparel, which clashes with the local drab Euro garb. 27th of July, 1992, Madrid, Spain. Luis, wearing a fanny pack, green plaid shorts, blue sneakers, and a short-sleeve orange rayon shirt, is distracted by his new Game Boy, and his mother Puri also seems to be a fish out of water, while she searches for her brother Tomas, 38, whom is picking them up.
Stop playing with that. Look up. We just got to Spain. You were born here. You should be happy.
Luis looks up, looks around, and is not impressed, digs his head back into the game.
Aye, this kid.
Puri spots a well-dressed Tomas in penny loafers and tight Levi jeans as he smokes a cigarette. And although he's married, he's checking out the approaching female flight attendants passing by him. Tomas, to himself, "My God, I'd love to fly high with them." Puri begins to yell out to Tomas, but it takes him a bit to make her out. Eventually, he does.
Puri. Tomas! Tomas!
Waving, Tomas acknowledges her and quickly struts over. He gives her a big hug and pats Luis on the shoulder while squeezing his cheek. Luis just looks up and smirks. Tomas, "Wapa, how was your flight? And this little critter? Who's grown up so fast?" To Luis, "Last time I saw you, you were 5 years old." Luis, "I'm 14 now and almost taller than you." Tomas is surprised and slightly annoyed by Luis's comment. Tomas, "I see that. What do they feed you there in America? Horse meat? Well, we should get going to beat traffic. You remember how Madrid gets."
Puri. Oh yes, let's go. Tomas, maybe we can stop and get a little chocolate con churros before heading to my mother-in-law's flat. I'm starving and I've been craving churros all flight.
Luis is listening passively but interjects. Luis, "What are churros?" Both Puri and Tomas look at him, then simultaneously at each other, as if he were a stranger's kid. Tomas, "Yes, churros it is." All three walk out of the terminal to the garage. Scene 3. Interior car, M30 Autovia Highway, same day, 27th of July, 1992, day. Tomas is driving as Puri is sitting in the passenger seat, nervously checking her makeup, using the visor's mirror. Luis continues to play with his Game Boy. Tomas, to Puri, "Why are you so nervous? We're just going to get churros."
Puri. Tomas, she's so intimidating.
Tomas, "Who?" Tomas is fidgeting with the radio. In his attempt to find a Spanish song, he skips over many American top 40 songs.
Puri. Atocha, my mother-in-law.
Tomas, confused. "Wait, you're the one who is bilingual and moved to the U.S. Why would you be intimidated by some abuela who has never really taken risks or struggled? She should be the one intimidated by you." Tomas, Puri turns her head to look at Tomas.
Puri. You'll see, Tomas. When you meet her, you'll see.
Tomas is not convinced and just continues to smoke while he's driving with one hand on the wheel. Luis, "I have to pee."
Puri. We're almost there.
Tomas looks at Puri from the corner of his eyes as she crosses herself. Scene 4. Exterior, Pasteleria, Cafe Madrid, same day, 27th of July, 1992, day. Tomas, Puri, and Luis are sitting on the patio of a cafe near Atocha's neighborhood. Luis, wow, where are we? These buildings are so big.
Puri.
Pointing.
Luis, you see that one? That's where your grandmother lives.
A peppy mustached waiter, 40, quickly approaches. Waiter, what can I get for you? Tomas, 3 chocolate con churros, por favor.
Puri. And 3 waters too, please.
Waiter looks at Puri. We don't get many tourists in this neighborhood. Where are you from? Tomas's eyes widen as we can see Puri start to get angry.
Puri. A tourist. A tourist.
Indignant, she cleans up her pronunciation.
I'm from here, born and raised.
Slightly raising her voice.
Castiza pura.
Pure Castilian. As Puri raises her voice, nearby cafe patrons look over to see what the commotion is. Waiter, I'm sorry, I didn't know. It's just that you have a slight accent. Forgive me. Please, the churros. The waiter. Si, senor. Luis is half smiling as he's never seen his mother upset or show any kind of anger.
Puri. Can you believe the nerve of this guy thinking we're foreigners?
Tomas. Well, you're dressed like characters from one of those Chevy Chase movies, so he probably thought you were a tourist. You know, with the Summer Olympics and Expo here this year, there are a lot of foreigners. Puri always feels assured by her brother's words.
Puri. Must be.
The waiter brings back a basket full of churros and 3 piping hot mugs with thick chocolate. Luis's eyes bulge out of his sockets. Waiter, enjoy! Drops them and disappears. Tomas looks in amazement as Puri and Luis devour the food. Scene 5. Interior, Atocha's flat, Madrid. Same day, 27th of July, 1992. Day. The 3 are now in front of the tall apartment building. Luis looks up as he's completely impressed at its enormity. Seeing that the main front door is ajar, they finish opening it and walk inside, into the empty lobby, which is adorned in pre-war decor, with crown molding and paintings that look like they should be hanging in a museum and not an apartment building. Abuela Atocha lives on the 12th floor, and only an old, cramped, rickety 1920s elevator can take them up. Suddenly, out of the darkness, from behind the stairwell, a doorman, 65, appears. He looks like he was awoken from a nap. He pretends to be sharp. His job clearly suits a semi-retired chap like him. Doorman, in a menacing way, welcome. As they stare at the elevator, the doorman startles the trio, causing Luis to hide behind his mother like a scared puppy. Tomas automatically glides into a boxing position with closed fists, but then relaxes them.
Puri. Por Dios.
They compose themselves. Doorman, how may I be of assistance? Who are you here to visit? Luis nervously barks out, my grandmother. The doorman creepily folds over, finishing at eye level with Luis as the stench of coffee, alcohol, and general regret for life permeate the air. Doorman, and whom may that be, my little soldier? Puri, now a little creeped out, interrupts as she shields Luis from the doorman.
Puri. Atocha. Atocha. Del Castillo?
The doorman's eyes enlarge as he sobers up. His posture stiffens. Doorman, well, I'm sure she'll be happy to see you. Please, let me assist you with the elevator. Although the contraption called an elevator looks more like an 1800s diving submersible with its iron gate, the doorman plays it like a violin, gliding open the apron and strategically guiding and positioning the trio into the lift so as to balance the weight properly.
Puri.
Seriously.
May God help us.
As the doorman is about to close the door, we notice that Luis's Game Boy drops out of his pocket and onto the lobby floor without anyone noticing. Doorman, up you go, as he aggressively slams the door shut, and the lift propels the visitors upwards. As he steps back from the elevator, he trips and stumbles on the Game Boy. He kneels down to grab it. Doorman, what is this? Act 2. Scene 6, interior, Atocha's hallway. Same day, 27th of July, 1992, day. We see the lift make its way up as it stops abruptly while jerking to a settling position where it evenly marries with the marble floor on the 12th floor. They have reached Atocha's hallway. Tomas jiggles open the door after a short battle with the iron apron, and Puri pushes Luis out as if she were to save him from disaster. They're all okay. As frightening as it is, this is how the elevator normally works. Luis, excited. That was so much fun!
Puri. Not for me. My lord, after all these years, you would think they'd upgrade this dinosaur of a lift. What a disgrace. Everything is so old.
Tomas ignores her sister's New World geo-biased comment. He now seems to be in a panicked hurry. Tomas. Right, well, let's get to it. Which flat is it?
Puri. It's 12D, I believe.
Tomas. You believe?
Puri. I haven't been here in years, and I always remembered it was to the right after exiting the elevator.
Tomas. Alrighty. 12D, then let's knock. Tomas knocks on the door, playfully but loudly.
Puri. You brute.
Tomas. What? She's old. Maybe she can't hear it.
Puri. Her daughter Mari lives with her, you know.
Tomas. Now I know. Luis. Mom, have I ever met Tia Mari? Luis seems to be more interested now after the adventurous lift ride.
Puri. Yes, you have, but you were little, and she lived in D.C. with us for a bit too.
Luis smiles as the door sluggishly opens to reveal Tia Mari, 37, pretty, refined, and stylish. Puri follows the door opening with her head.
Tia Mari. Hello, what do we have here? My goodness, I forgot today was the day you arrived. What a surprise.
Puri is taken aback as they had just spoken yesterday.
Puri. Nice to see you again, Mari.
Pushes Luis forward.
You remember Luis, your nephew and godson?
As she's still propping the door open, Mari looks down toward Luis and begins to smile.
Tia Mari. Of course. My, how big you've grown.
Then turns her head towards Tomas.
And you must be the brother, Ignacio?
Puri jumps in to correct her.
Puri. This is Tomas, the older brother. Ignacio's the younger one?
Mari extends her arm through the doorway as Tomas kisses her hand. Puri, witnessing this interaction, gives Tomas an ugly look. Tomas. Encantado, Mari. Kisses her hand. I wish we would have met earlier, but still, my pleasure now.
Tia Mari.
Blushing.
Please, come in.
Mari opens the door and gestures them forward. As they walk into the hallway, you can see old family portraits, china, and beautiful furniture. Luis's eyes sparkle as if he had traveled to a more majestic period in time.
Tia Mari, come to the sitting room. I'll get you some aperitivos and refrescos. You must be famished after your long flight.
Luis jumps in. Luis. We had churros.
Tia Mari, at this hour? Churros are just for the morning.
Tomas is getting increasingly anxious. Tomas. Mari, it was a pleasure meeting you, but I have to go. I'm meeting an old football buddy, Paco, at a bar. Spain plays Egypt in the Olympics. I think this would be a good time for you all to catch up.
Tia Mari, you just got here, but nevertheless, a real delight to meet you too, handsome Tomas, even if only for a short while.
Tomas has been taken in by her elegance and blushes. Mari walks out of the sitting room to the kitchen. Puri is visibly annoyed.
Puri.
Whispering to Tomas.
You didn't tell me you'd be leaving me. Tomas, I can't be here alone.
Tomas quietly. You have nothing to worry about. You're with family. Mari seems super sweet. You'll be just fine. I'll be back in 2 hours to pick you both up. Luis has started to make his way around the room, looking at all the old antique trinkets, photos, and family memorabilia. He focuses on an old picture frame with a young man wearing circular glasses. As he goes to pick up the frame, it falls over into two pieces. Luis, eek! What now? Luis takes both pieces of the frame and hides them behind another bigger frame. Luis, okay, that works. Puri gestures for Luis to come over as Tomas leaves through the front door. Moments later, Tiamati comes into the sitting room holding a tray full of food and drinks.
Tiamati.
Gracefully.
Here we go. I didn't know exactly what type of beverages you would like, so I brought different juices and ginger ale. I remember when I first drank ginger ale in the States. Oh, how I miss Washington, D.C. So glamorous and exciting. Not like this stuffy old Madrid.
Puri and Luis sit around the table and begin to eat as Mari continues her speech.
Puri. Yes, I remember you and your brother were always out at art gallery openings and embassy parties while I stayed home with the kids.
Luis, flabbergasted, freezes as he pops a muffin in his mouth.
Well, those weren't your kind of events, my darling Puri. It was full of worldly, sophisticated artists and politicians. You would have felt out of place.
Puri begins to boil, but simmers.
Tiamati. Anyway, so what brings you to Spain? Puri. I'm staying a month with my parents in Burgos, and now that Luis is older, I want him to spend the summer with his cousins and to get to know his family. Plus, my parents are getting older and I miss them dearly.
Tiamati nods and notices Luis is looking at a large portrait frame of a gentleman.
Tiamati. That's my abuelo Vale, your grandmother's father. He was a smart guy. A lawyer that helped out the poor in his village when no one else wanted to. He was very much adored and loved.
Puri stays silent. We now hear moaning noises coming from the other room. Luis. What is that? The noises seem to be getting louder and turn into snoring.
That's your abuela Atocha. She was resting in the TV room, and I guess she's now asleep.
Puri jumps in.
Puri. Maybe we should wake her, as we're only in Madrid for a few hours. Tiamati. I would have thought you'd stay here a few days. Impossible. We have a big dinner for my parents' wedding anniversary tomorrow in Burgos.
Mari is offended, but relieved.
Tiamati. I see. How are your parents, Juana and Tomas? Puri. They're doing great, Mari. Just great. They left the salt business to Tomas Jr. and now they're retired. Tiamati. That's right. I remember they worked in something menial.
Puri strikes back.
Puri. Menial? They may not be of noble blood or have fancy portraits and old furniture, but my parents have class and worked hard all their lives to give us everything they could. You know what?
The snoring stops. Puri and Luis freeze. Unfazed.
Looks like she's awake.
Puri begins to calm down, but shakes a bit. Luis. Mom, why are you upset?
Puri. Don't worry, Luigi. Just enjoy your aunt and grandma because we're out of here soon.
We start to hear the rustling noises draw near the sitting room. Anxiety fills the air. Puri is the most affected as she's visibly uncomfortable. The door is agape when a cane pops through the bottom, being used to open the door wider. Tiamati notices this and jumps up to assist. Tiamati opens the door wider to reveal Abuela Tocha, a beautiful lady in her 80s, with thick black grayish hair, soft body but sturdy looking. Her eyes are magical and command respect. She couldn't look any more the part of a sweet grandmother.
Tiamati.
Quickly.
Luis, you were too little to remember, but this is your abuela Atocha.
Puri's eyes widen. Luis and Atocha's eyes meet. Atocha produces a big smile which melts the stress away in the room. Luis. Hello, Grandma. Atocha's amused by Luis's accent.
Atocha. Mi nieto, you have your grandfather Buenaventura's beautiful blue eyes.
As Tiamati helps Atocha to her chair, the phone rings. Tiamati hurries to take the call. We can hear her mumbling in the background.
Puri. Suegra, you're looking really great. Keeping strong. Atocha. Thank you, Puri. I always say that garlic is the key to a long life, and I eat them raw.
Tiamati slides back into the room.
Tiamati. Apologies, that was the market. The delivery guy is sick and can't bring up the groceries. Puri, do you mind coming with me to pick them up? It won't take too long. Puri, can't they send someone else? I can't leave Luis here alone. Tiamati. He will be fine. He's safe with his abuela. We'll be back in no time.
Puri looks at Luis as his eyes are still fixed with Atocha's.
Puri. Okay, but let's hurry.
They exit, leaving Atocha and Luis alone in the sitting room.